Sunday arrived like a dream. Chuka barely slept the night before. He kept checking his small bag, looking at the card over and over again. He didn't know what to expect at Chief Damian's house, but something deep in his heart told him that his life was about to change. By 2:30 p.m., Chuka was already on his way. He took 2 buses, holding on to the card like it was his future. The address led him to Ikoyi, a place he had only heard about on the news or seen in magazines. When he arrived at the gate of the house, he looked up and froze. The building was massive, his heart beat faster. The security man at the gate looked at him suspiciously. "Who are you looking for?" Chuka handed him the card silently. "He said I should come today by 4 p.m. The man studied the card, nodded. "You're expected," the guard said. "Follow the path. Don't touch anything." Chuka walked in, amazed by everything around him. He had never stepped into a place like this. He entered the living room. There, on a wide leather couch, sat Chief Damian. He stood up with a warm smile. "Ah, Chuka, welcome. Please sit." Chuka greeted him with respect. "Thank you, sir. I'm honored." "I'm the one honored," Chief Damian replied. "You impressed me yesterday, and I don't forget things like that." Chief Damian sat back down. "Let's get straight to it," he said. "You showed me something yesterday that I value more than certificates. You showed me honesty." Chuka nodded slowly, listening. "Most people would have taken that money. You didn't. And that tells me something about your heart." He paused, then continued. "Chuka, what's your dream? If life had not been hard on you, what would you have wanted to become?" Chuka took a deep breath. "Sir, I've always wanted to have a modern workshop, a proper one, with machines, trained staff, and a clean space. I want to teach young boys the right way, honest work, with dignity." Chief Damian smiled. "That's not a small dream, but it's a good one. Do you have a bank account?" Chuka smiled sadly. "Not yet, sir. I was planning to open one before some things happened." "Don't worry," Chief Damian said. "We'll take care of that tomorrow." Chuka looked up, shocked. "Sir? You heard me. I want to help you build that dream. Not just because you are honest, but because I believe you can do something great with it." Chuka's hands trembled slightly. He had never heard words like this directed at him before. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you," he said quietly. "Just do what's right when your time comes," Chief Damian replied. Suddenly, footsteps came from the staircase behind them. A woman in her early 50s, dressed in a simple but elegant gown, walked down slowly. "Darling," Chief Damian said, "this is Chuka, the young man I told you about." She smiled warmly and walked over to greet him. "God bless you, my son. You're the reason my husband smiled all night yesterday. He told me everything." Chuka stood to greet her. "Thank you, Ma. I'm grateful." She touched his shoulder and nodded. "You are welcome in this house." Chief Damian then turned to Chuka with a serious yet kind look. "Ah, Chuka, before I forget, you told me yesterday that you sleep inside the mechanic workshop." Chuka nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. I sleep on a bench there. It's not the best, but it's all I have." Chief Damian shook his head. "I don't want that anymore. It's not safe. You can be sleeping in our guest room here, at least until you get your own apartment and your workshop is ready." Chuka couldn't believe what he was hearing. His mouth opened slightly. "Sir, you want me to stay here?" "Yes. The room is there. It's clean, quiet, and yours for now." Chuka stood up quickly, his eyes watery. "Thank you, sir. God bless you." "Thank you so much, sir." Chief Damian smiled. "You deserve it." That evening, Chief Damian sat in the living room with his wife. She looked at him carefully. "Honey," she said gently, "you just want to help a total stranger open a huge expensive workshop." Chief Damian looked at her. "Yes. Why not?" "I trust him." She shook her head slowly. "I'm not saying he's a bad person, but you don't do things like this. You've never done this for anyone, not even your relatives." "Why him?" "Because he proved himself," Damian replied. "He could have stolen the money." "Yes," she agreed, "but still people do pretend at first. You know that. Some act good until they get what they want. Then they change." Chief Damian leaned back, thinking. "You're right," he said finally. "What do you suggest?" His wife took a deep breath. Let him work with you, maybe 1 or 2 months. Let us see more of his loyalty, more of his character. If he's truly what we believe, then you can invest in his workshop. But let him prove it. Chief Damian nodded slowly. You are right, honey. I won't rush. I'll give him work and watch him. That night, Chuka lay on the soft mattress in the guest room. He had never slept on such a bed in his entire life. The air conditioner was quiet. The bedsheet smelled of lavender. He turned to the ceiling, his heart full. God, he whispered, don't let me fail. Please help me make these people proud. He thought of his sister Amaka and how she betrayed him. He thought of the friend who rejected him in Lagos. He thought of the insult he had received from people who forgot what he sacrificed. But now someone was giving him a chance. The next morning, before 6 a.m., Chuka was already dressed. He helped the house staff to sweep the compound, cleaned the corridor, and even washed Chief Damian's second car without being told. When Chief Damian came out, he was surprised. You're up already? Yes, sir, Chuka said with a small bow. I just wanted to help. Damian smiled. Good, very good. Today you'll follow me to the site. I want you to learn. Chuka followed Chief Damian to the construction site that morning. It was a large project. Dozens of men in helmets were moving around, machines roaring, bricks being laid, cement being poured. Chief Damian was the kind of boss who didn't just sit in an office. He moved around, gave instructions, and checked every detail. Chuka stood quietly beside him, holding a notepad and listening carefully to everything. At one point, Chief Damian turned to him and said, You see this project? It started as an empty land. Everything you see here is built by discipline, focus, and hard work. Chuka nodded with full attention. Yes, sir. Damian smiled faintly. Not just work, honest work. That's what separates a leader from a liar. 2 weeks later, Chuka's body began to weaken. The daily stress from the workshop, the early morning routines and site visits were taking a toll. He had worked under the sun, lifted heavy parts and skipped meals. His system was not used to this lifestyle yet. That Tuesday morning, he woke up with a pounding headache, his body weak and burning with fever. He tried to get up but fell back on the bed. One of the house staff noticed and immediately called the family doctor. After examining him, the doctor said, He's not seriously ill. Just exhaustion. He needs rest, food, and proper sleep. Chief Damian was away on a business trip that day, but he called to check in. Let him stay in bed, he told his wife. I'll be back tomorrow. Later that afternoon, the guest room door opened. Chuka, weak but awake, looked up. It was Chief Damian's wife. She walked in gently. You haven't eaten since morning. Van, I get you some fruits? No, I'm not hungry, Chuka said. Thank you, Ma. She smiled but did not leave. Instead, she sat on the chair next to the bed. Her eyes studied him silently. You know something? She said after a long pause. You're strong. Stronger than my husband was at your age, and very handsome too. Chuka didn't understand where the conversation was going. He gave a polite smile but remained silent. You've been working hard, she continued. My husband said he would help you after 2 months. But what if I told you I can make it happen in 2 days? Chuka looked at her confused. Ma? Yes, she said, now turning slightly toward him. You don't have to wait. I can make him sign those papers. Your workshop, your tools, your money, everything you want. But, she paused. I want something too. Now Chuka understood. He felt his heart drop. You're young, fresh, and very handsome, she said. From the first day I saw you, I liked you. You don't have to do much. Just give me what I want, and you'll have everything you've dreamed of. No one will know. Chuka's mouth went dry. Ma. With all due respect, I can't do that. I will never do that. She leaned forward. Why not? You're not married. I'm not asking you to love me. Just agree now, and your life changes by tomorrow. Chuka frowned. Ma, I would rather sleep outside on the street than betray the man who saved my life. Your husband has been like a father to me. I will never repay him with betrayal. Her smile disappeared, her face twisted with cold anger. So that's your answer? Yes, Ma. She stood up slowly and hissed. You poor local mechanic. I was even trying to help you. Do you know how many boys like you would jump at this chance? You think you're better than everyone?" Chuka didn't reply. His chest was beating fast. He just stared at her. She walked to the door, then turned back and said darkly, "If you ever tell anyone about this conversation, you're finished. I will tell my husband that you came after me, and he will believe me." And then she walked out. Chuka was angry and confused. His mind was racing. He had survived pain, betrayal, and poverty. But now he was in the middle of a test that could destroy everything he had started to build. He whispered a short prayer. "Lord, if I must go back to zero to keep my peace and dignity, so be it. But don't let this evil win." The next day, Chief Damian returned from his business trip, excited to see how Chuka was doing. As soon as he entered the house, he asked the staff, "Where is Chuka?" One of the stewards replied, "Sir, he has been quiet since yesterday. He packed a bag early this morning and is waiting to see you." Chief Damian raised his brow in concern. "Packed a bag?" He went straight to the living room where Chuka was standing, fully dressed, bag in hand. "Chuka," he said gently, "are you going somewhere?" Chuka looked up, eyes heavy but calm. "Yes, sir, I just want to thank you for everything, but I have to leave." Chief Damian walked closer, surprised. "Leave? Why? What happened? Is it the workshop? Did someone insult you?" "No, sir, I just need to go back to my village to see my sick mother," Chuka replied. Chief Damian frowned. "Your village? You once told me your parents died a long time ago. So who are you going to see there?" Chuka lowered his eyes. "I lied, sir. My mother is still alive." Chief Damian stepped back slightly, staring at him. "No, Chuka, I know when someone is lying. Your parents are truly gone. So now tell me what's really wrong. Who offended you? Was it my staff? My boys at the site? Is it my wife? Tell me the truth so I can deal with whoever it is." Chuka's voice cracked slightly. "Sir, please, it's not something you will understand. You've done everything for me. I will always be grateful. But I just can't stay. Let me go, please. Let me leave in peace. May God bless you and your entire household." Chief Damian stood in silence, confused, searching Chuka's eyes for answers. Just then, soft footsteps entered the room. It was Madam. She paused at the door, saw the tension, and walked in calmly. "Chuka," she said softly, "you're leaving." "Yes, Ma," he replied without looking at her. There was silence for a moment, then she said something unexpected. "Congratulations, Chuka. You passed." Chuka looked up, confused. "Ma?" She nodded slowly and turned to her husband. It's time he knew the truth. He deserves it. Chief Damian stared at her. "What truth?" She sighed. "The test. I asked you to let us test his loyalty. You said no, so I decided to do it my way. I pretended to tempt him. I wanted to see if he could resist when offered comfort and shortcuts. I wanted to know if he truly respected you, or if he was just another street boy trying to climb through the back door." Chuka's mouth slowly opened. "So, it was a plan?" She nodded. "Yes, it was never real. But your answer yesterday proved everything. You refused me. You stood your ground, and even now you didn't expose me. You tried to carry the shame in silence, even after everything you've been through. That shows strength. It shows integrity." Chief Damian was frozen. His eyes moved between his wife and Chuka. You did what?" he asked slowly. "I had to be sure, Damian," she said. "I know you trust too easily. You've been disappointed in the past. I couldn't allow you invest millions into someone just because he found your money and returned it. We needed more proof." Damian was shocked, still trying to process it. Chuka dropped his bag gently on the floor, his voice soft. "So, all that was just a test?" "Yes," she said, "and you passed." Suddenly, Chief Damian held his hands. "My boy, I don't even know what to say. You could have told me. You could have reacted with anger. But you kept quiet. You chose to protect my household instead of defending yourself. You have more than passed, Chuka. You've shown the kind of loyalty money can't buy." Madam walked closer, her tone now motherly. "I'm sorry for the pain I caused you. Forgive me. I just needed to be sure you were the one." Tears rolled down Chuka's cheeks. "I thought I was being punished for being poor. I thought I was going to lose everything again." Chief Damian pulled him into a hug. No, my son, you are not losing anything. In fact, you've just gained more than you know. Madam joined the hug. You're not just loyal, you're family now. Chuka wiped his tears and smiled weakly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ma. God bless you. Chief Damian smiled back. Now go and rest. We have something big to prepare for. The next morning, Chuka woke up early. His heart felt lighter than it had in years. The burden of fear and confusion was gone. A deep peace rested inside him. After breakfast, Chief Damian called him into the home office. Sit down, Chuka, he said calmly. Chuka sat. Chief Damian placed a file on the table. I've made my decision. Starting from today, you're no longer just a poor roadside mechanic. Chuka blinked. Sir? Damian opened the file and handed him a letter. You are now the project manager for all my real estate development sites. That includes the Ajani Estate project, the twin duplexes in Rumwelumeni, and the new waterfront property we just secured. Chuka was frozen. Me? Project manager? Yes, Damian replied. You see, I've had many site supervisors. Most of them cheated me. They will tell me they bought 10 bags of cement, but only buy 4. They'll buy 2 iron rods and claim they bought 12. I lost millions through dishonesty. He looked Chuka in the eye. But with you, I sleep well. Because I know my money is safe, you've proven it. Chuka's hands shook slightly as he held the appointment letter. Sir, I don't know what to say. Chief Damian smiled. Don't say anything. Just keep doing what you've been doing. I trust you. Then he brought out another file. Here, he said, this is the key and document to one of my flats in GRA. It's a 2-bedroom serviced apartment. From today, that's where you'll stay. Chuka's eyes widened. Sir, no. You don't have to. I insist, Chief Damian interrupted. The workshop is not where you belong anymore, and I don't want to hear no. You are a manager now. People will look up to you. Dress well, eat well, sleep well. Chuka was speechless. Oh, and one more thing, Damian added with a smile. You'll need a car. There's a Toyota Corolla 2024 model in the garage. The driver will take you there. It's yours. Tears dropped from Chuka's eyes. Sir, thank you. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Chief Damian hugged him. You've earned it. Back in Port Harcourt, Amaka's life was falling apart. It started with a phone call from an old friend who worked at her company. Amaka, the voice said, I don't want to scare you, but I think you should know. Your boyfriend, Chelsea, has been coming around one of our colleagues. Her name is Sonia. People say they've been seen together often. Please be careful. Amaka's heart dropped. Her hands began to shake. She had defended Chelsea to everyone. Even after Chuka warned her, she chose to believe in love. Now this? She ended the call and sat silently in the living room, staring at nothing. That evening, Chelsea returned home whistling. Amaka stood by the door waiting. Where are you coming from? She asked coldly. From the gym, he replied casually. Why? Really? She snapped. So the gym is where you now meet Sonia? Chelsea froze. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb, she shouted. Someone told me everything. How long have you been cheating on me? Who is Sonia to you? Charles laughed, trying to cover his guilt. So now you believe rumors over your man. You've lost your mind. Amaka stepped closer. I don't trust you anymore. I should have listened to my brother. He was right all along. The mention of Chuka's name set Chelsea off. Your brother. Is that all you know how to say? Go and marry him then. You think I don't get tired of hearing Chuka this, Chuka that? You act like he's God. Amaka was stunned. You're shouting at me now? Yes, he shouted back. Everything is getting too much. You don't respect me. You compare me to your brother every day. I'm done. And for your information, I'm traveling to Lagos tomorrow to see my cousin. You can deal with yourself. She turned her face away, folded her arms and muttered, whatever. But deep inside, she felt broken. That night, Chelsea was on the phone with another woman. His voice was soft and full of fake sweetness. Baby, please calm down. Everything is under control. Just give me a little time. I'll deal with her. She will regret ever crossing me. The woman on the line sounded upset, demanding answers. He smiled and said, "Tomorrow, baby, I'm coming to Lagos to see you. My love, I miss you so much. You know you're the one I truly want. Just prepare for me, okay?" The woman sighed and said she would be waiting. He ended the call and dropped the phone on the bed, laughing quietly to himself. Foolish Amaka, she gave me everything, yet I'm running after someone better. He thought he had everything under control, but little did he know that karma was waiting to visit him in a way he never expected. The next day in Lagos, Chuka sat quietly in his car, waiting for a business partner who had called for a short site discussion. The sun was soft in the sky, and the street was busy with people going in and out of nearby shops. Chuka relaxed, scrolling through his phone, when something strange caught his attention. Across the road, coming out of a baby items store, was a man he immediately recognized. His eyes narrowed. "Wait, what?" he whispered to himself. It was Chelsea. He looked relaxed and very happy. But he wasn't alone. Holding his hand tightly was a woman. Not just any woman, a heavily pregnant woman. She was smiling brightly as they laughed together. Charles kissed her on the forehead. Chuka's was speechless. They looked like a real couple, like expectant parents getting ready for their future. Everything in that moment screamed intimacy, love, and connection. Chuka couldn't believe it. That was Amaka's boyfriend, the same man who insulted him, the same one Amaka defended over and over again. He stayed hidden inside the car. He didn't come out. He didn't call out to them. He just sat there, quietly watching as they drove off, completely unaware that someone who knew the full truth had just witnessed everything. On his way home, Chuka was silent. He kept asking himself questions. Is she his cousin? Number, you don't kiss your cousin like that. You don't touch your cousin's belly like that. He shook his head. She won't believe me, he said aloud, but I need to try. Back at home, Chuka sat in the living room, staring at his phone for a long time. He wasn't sure what he was doing. Part of him didn't want to get involved anymore, but another part of him still cared. Deep down, he still loved his sister, despite everything she had done. After a few minutes of hesitation, he picked up the phone. "Let me see if her old number still works," he said quietly. He dialed. The phone rang twice, and to his surprise, she answered. "Hello?" Her voice came through softly. Chuka cleared his throat. "Amaka, it's me." She gasped. "Brother Chuka, is this really you? Oh my God, where have you been?" He paused. "I've been around." She sounded nervous. "You just disappeared. No one heard from you. I've been thinking about you." Chuka said nothing. She asked again, "Where are you staying now? Are you okay?" He didn't answer that part. "I'm fine," he replied. "I saw something today and thought you should know." "What is it?" she asked. Chuka took a deep breath. "I saw Chelsea with a pregnant woman. They were coming out of a baby shop. He kissed her and touched her stomach. They looked like a couple." Silence. Then a cold laugh came through the phone. "Brother, for how long will this continue? You still don't like him. You're still trying to prove something. I know he's not perfect, but I've accepted him. He doesn't have another woman. He told me everything. You're just angry because of what happened." Chuka frowned. "So I'm lying now?" She was quiet. "I should have minded my business," he said. "Take care of yourself, and your jobless boyfriend, Amaka, the senseless girl." He hung up. Amal stared at her phone. Her hands trembled slightly. The way her brother spoke, the pain in his voice, the way he called her full name. Something about it made her chest tighten. She replayed his words in her mind. Pregnant woman. Baby shop. Kissed her. They looked like a couple. A strange fear crawled through her. Could he be telling the truth? Had she really trusted the wrong man? Amaka slowly sank to the bed. She placed her hands on her chest. "Oh God, what if it's true?" she whispered. She wanted to call Chuka back, but pride held her phone still. She didn't want to hear, "I told you so." But deep inside, something had started to break. It was a peaceful Saturday afternoon. Chuka had gone to a quiet restaurant on the island to meet a client who was supposed to discuss a new project with him. But the man had called to cancel at the last minute. Since he was already there, he decided to stay and eat. He placed his order, A few minutes later, a young woman walked into the restaurant, alone. She looked elegant, tall and beautiful. Her skin glowed under the soft lights. She scanned the room, looking for a place to sit, but almost every table was taken. Chuka noticed her, and their eyes met for a brief moment. She smiled politely, and he looked away shyly. "Excuse me, please," she said, walking over. "May I sit here for a few minutes? The place is a bit full." Chuka stood. "Of course, you're welcome." She sat down and thanked him with a soft smile. Chuka nodded and returned to his phone, but he kept stealing glances at her. She was graceful in every way, her voice gentle, her posture calm, and she smelled like expensive perfume. After a while, she broke the silence. "You look familiar. Have we met before?" Chuka smiled. "I don't think so. I'm new in Lagos, but maybe I look like someone." She laughed. "Maybe you do. I'm Kioma, by the way." He replied, "I'm Chuka." "Nice to meet you." They continued chatting, and soon the ice melted. Kioma asked, "What do you do?" Chuka replied, "I work with a private construction firm. I manage some sites now, but I used to be a full-time mechanic." She smiled, impressed. "Wow, that's interesting. You must be really good then." He nodded. "I try my best. What about you?" She said, "I just came back from London. I work remotely for a design company, but I came home recently to see my family. My dad is someone very popular, you probably know him. His name is Chief Damian." Chuka was shocked. "Chief Damian?" he repeated. "Yes," she replied. "Do you know him?" He laughed softly. "I work for him. He's my boss. But we've never talked about you before." She smiled. "That sounds like him, very private with family things." They both laughed. From that moment, something changed. Their talk became deeper, their connection stronger. Chuka felt something in his chest, something warm and unexpected. Kioma too couldn't stop smiling. She had met many men, but something about Chuka's humility, strength and sincerity pulled her in. When they finished their meal, they walked out of the restaurant together. Kioma looked at him and said, "I'm glad the place was full today." He smiled. "Me too." They stood quietly for a second, then exchanged numbers. A few weeks after Chuka's warning, Amaka began to notice that something was off. Her house documents, which she had carefully stored in her drawer, were missing. At first, she thought she had misplaced them, but after searching every corner of her bedroom, reality hit. They were gone. She rushed to her bank and property lawyer. The news broke her completely. The house had been sold. The buyer, a businessman who claimed he bought it from Chelsea, with all the necessary documents signed. Amaka stood in the bank, trembling, cold sweat running down her back. Her knees almost gave way. She called Chelsea over and over again, but he didn't answer. That night, Amaka found out where he was staying. He had checked into a hotel with the same pregnant woman Chuka had warned her about, the same woman he once called his cousin. She drove straight to the hotel. Her face was blank. Her heart was gone. She walked through the reception in silence. When she knocked on the door, Chelsea opened it, shocked. "What are you doing here?" he asked. She pushed the door open. The pregnant woman stood behind him, confused. "I gave you everything," Amaka said, her voice calm, broken. "And you stole from me. You sold my house. My house." Chelsea stepped forward. "Wait, listen." Amaka pulled the gun from her bag. The woman screamed. A loud bang echoed through the hallway. Then another, and one final shot. By the time the police arrived, it was too late. The news made headlines. Woman shoots lover, pregnant mistress, then herself in shocking property scam tragedy. Everyone was talking about it. People who had once admired Amaka's strength couldn't understand how love, betrayal and shame had pushed her to that point. But for Chuka, the pain was different. When he heard the news, he locked himself in his room for hours. He cried for the sister who once stood tall, the sister who believed in him, the sister he had lost twice. But life, as painful as it is, moves on. 1 year later, Chuka stood at the altar, dressed in a fine suit, tears in his eyes. In front of him stood Kioma, Chief Damian's daughter, glowing in her white gown, her smile bright and filled with love. They said their vows, they kissed, they became one. Chuka looked around, tears in his eyes. From sleeping in a dirty workshop, from being insulted and abandoned, from crying on the streets of Lagos. He had finally found peace. He moved into his new house with Chioma, and together they started a life filled with love, purpose, and gratitude. Chuka never forgot his sister. Every year he lit a candle on her birthday and prayed that wherever her soul rested, she would find peace. And for himself, he continued building, not just houses, but lives, futures, and dreams. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.